welcome back. I'm doing the Incognito pulley on the TRX. Um, I kind of started a little bit on it just to skip little things, but you do not have to do anything from the top except the tensioner for the blower pulleys right here. Other than that, all the work's underneath. So one of the first things to do is to take off the tensioner that's here, which I have right here. Okay, and what they want you to do is take this shim that goes behind it like that, and then you just put it back on. It's best just to use a regular wrench, just get the bolt loose, and once the bolt's loose, it just pretty much comes right out. You also have to move the center crank bolt. You can see it, it's gone. It's already pulled out of there. To do that, you have to keep the crank from turning. I'll show that in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw this tensioner up there. So I'll get it started, and I'll show you. You can just kind of get it with your fingers until it's almost tight, and then you just use the wrench to tighten it up, and then that's probably like the tightest, hardest spot to do. After that, it's pretty simple. Okay, so behind it, I have this shim. I'll pull this away. You see the shim behind there? There's a hole in it, and you just have to line the dowel pin of the tensioner up with it, and then just bring it into the hole, and then just tighten that nut. It's not that hard to do. It took me like a minute to put it up there. Okay, so the tensioner is now installed and tightened. So that part is done. Next part, basically just slide the Incognito over this, and you're going to use the 3 existing puller bolts holes to initially tighten it down to 40 foot-pounds with some blue Loctite. So, other than the hoses slightly in the way, but they move, just kind of push them out of the way. You can slide it over. And then you kind of got to find the hole. I think that's it. I'm going to kind of test it, see if it is it. Yeah. So you're going to run these bolts in, and then torque them down to 40 foot-pounds. And they want some blue Loctite. So I'll do that now. I just wanted to put that second one in to actually make sure I was lined up. And they just say a dab of it, nothing crazy. I'm going to run it down with the electric wrench, and then I'll torque it. So just get these at 40. I already did the very bottom. Okay, so this is behind the oil pan and the transmission in front of that, the bell housing. So here I have this piece here. It's engaged into the teeth. There's teeth on this thing on the top side. Engaged into this flywheel, and it's wedged up against here. So now when I go to tighten the bolt on the balancer, the big center one, it won't turn. So when you take it off, you put it over here and it'll wedge against this. So now it's just wedged on this side. So when you're done, obviously, just turn the crank back just a touch, and then this will be loose. Just take it out. And then there's this cover right there. It's got like 6 bolts. You can put it back on. And then there's a skid plate that's here that I had to take off because you can't get it out of there without removing it. It's like 5 bolts. So anyway, that is it for back here for that. So now let's go back up front. So I'm going to go get the bolt, and it's a 21mm head on it. It is 150 foot-pounds, and then an additional, there's 148 foot-pounds and an additional 150 degrees of rotation, torque to yield. So I got it torqued to 150 on this. So now I have to turn it 150 degrees. So I put a Sharpie mark pointing down on the bottom of the bolt right now. And if I can get it to point somewhere in this area, 180 being the very top, this would be 90. So somewhere in here in the middle. Alright, so I got that thing tight. I don't know if I can get a light on it. See that mark there? That's about 150 degrees. So all that's left now is to put the belts on and put that cover skid plates back on. So I have the supercharger belt on. You can see here, there is like a sheet of paper of clearance between the AC bracket and the belt, but it is clear. So that's why that's the biggest you can go without grinding that cover. So now I just have the accessory belt, which is the run off this tensioner that I removed earlier. So we got the accessory belt down. That was pretty simple. Wasn't hard at all, really. The routing is pretty easy to remember. But I'll just get these skid plates on. And I did decide that I'm going to paint the tow hooks. So they're just, while this skid plate's off, you don't even have to take the bolts all the way out. That bolt there and that bolt there, you just loosen them up, knock it backwards just a little bit, and it'll actually pop out because these are open. And you can just take them out and paint them quick. When they dry, just throw them back in. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we're back here. I got everything put back. But so this right here, this piece here comes off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 bolts, and then this comes off this whole aluminum piece, which where you can put that flywheel holder. And then once you get it down, of course, the skid plate here is in the way. So you got 2 bolts here and 3 bolts there. So it's pretty much done, except for me putting the front skid plate back on. So when I was driving this before, it was pulling 11 pounds of boost stock. So for my last truck, was doing like 10, and it went up to 12 and 13, and then in the cold winter it would touch 14. So I don't know, this one's at 11. It's probably going to be the same. I don't think it's going to be more than that, but I'm expecting 12, 13 pounds of boost with it, and it helps a lot off the line. So I don't know about top end. Some people say that, but I don't think so. So that's about it for this install. Next I'm going to do is these mirrors. I just got them in the mail like, I don't know, half hour ago. So I'm going to do those next. All right, I gave it a quick once over. Might as well start it up. Another success story. No squeaking. Some people say they squeak. I didn't have an issue with that. Now, if the Mustang wasn't on the lift, I would have loved to do this on the lift. It would have been a million times easier. So, well, I'm pretty happy with that. So, I'm going to end this video now. So, I'm moving on to the mirrors. I'll be doing another one today. This is my day off, so I decided to get as many things done on my list for this truck as I can. So, until next time, later.